Hey, welcome to yourlocalnote.com. My name is Mike Stringer, joined as always by RJ McKay. This website was built to create a community where the listener could get to know bands and artists in and around the Philadelphia area. And we have a few ways you can do that. We have our free iPhone and Android app, and you can download that by searching YLN. And with that, you can stream our station 24/7. It plays only music from the Philadelphia area. And we also keep up to date our live shows and also music news. And of course, we have these weekly featured podcasts. And this week we are welcoming back 3630. We talked to them, I believe it was about a year and a half ago, and they're back with a brand new album called Control Issues. So we will begin with a track off that new album. It's called Introvert. We're going to talk to 3630 here on yourlocalnote.com.
On the outside, hello, it's nice to see you. How have you been? On the inside, can we go? I'd like to go home. Can I be myself again? Clever and witty, isn't it a pity? He'd rather be alone. Clever and witty, isn't it a pity? He'd rather be alone. Painfully shy, though he hides it well. Forcing him to socialize puts him through hell. Can you tell? Do you know where he'd rather be? Where he'd rather be? In the middle, it's him between me and the party scene. A bit off center, he's got one foot out the door and I barely hit the floor. Handsome and charming, isn't it alarming? He'd rather be alone. Handsome and charming, isn't it alarming? He'd rather be alone. Painfully shy, though he hides it well. Forcing him to socialize puts him through hell. Can you tell? Do you know where he'd rather be? Where he'd rather be? Except the wallflower. Should I skip the happy hour? He's no social butterfly. He doesn't even want to try. Should I stay home with the guy? Painfully shy, though he hides it well. Forcing him to socialize puts him through hell. Can you tell? Do you know where he'd rather be? Where he'd rather be? Staying in, no crowds, no noise. Doesn't even go out with the boys. Want to go out, try something new. You know he'd do it if I asked him to. Introverted, not to be converted, 'cause he'd rather be with me. Introverted, not to be converted, 'cause he'd rather be with me. Painfully shy, though he hides it well. Forcing him to socialize puts him through hell. Can't you tell? Do you know where he'd rather be? He'd rather be with me. He'd rather be with me. You know he'd rather be with me. He'd rather be with me.
And the song is called Introvert. They are 3630, and this is yourlocalnote.com. Welcome back into the studio.
Thanks for having us.
No problem. Last time it was James and Kim, and now we welcome Dave in on the podcast.
Yes,
welcome,
thank
Dave.
You. Hi, how are you?
Good, good. Let's introduce yourself to the new listener and the role you play in the band.
My name's David Rappaport, or Dave, I guess is the moniker I've been given, and I play drums and do a little vocals, although not on the album.
Yeah, we're
Live.
working on that.
We're working on that.
My name is Kim. I'm the lead singer, and I've been with 3630 ever since its inception.
All right.
My name's Jim. I'm the guitar player.
Okay, and last time we talked, you were talking about an album, Angry at the World, and now you have, I almost said now you have control issues.
Yes.
That would be true,
And
though.
we're just as angry.
There's a theme there,
Right. So you released this at the beginning of this year, and you had an album release party. How did that go?
It was great. Frankie and Johnny's on I guess it's in Warrington. Is that where it is?
Warrington.
Yeah. Great venue. I mean, it was a really nice open space, and we had a lot of people. Kim can talk more about who she invited and what the idea was with that.
Well, we of course you invite the family, because this is a great event to have an album released, and
Sure.
and we were really excited about it. It really was a family affair. On the cover of the CD, with that, she's a family member there. Picture was taken by a family member.
Okay.
So we were surrounded by family. We were surrounded by some folks we know from school, as Jim and I are both teachers. Dave brought a big gang of folks in there too, and it really was a great event. People that we work with came, and it felt great. It really felt great to introduce them to our new songs, because I think I've always felt that we need to get better every time, and this album to me is better than the last.
All right. And so you probably, while you were writing these songs and maybe before going into the studio, probably reached out to your family and friends for some feedback on some of the songs that made it onto the album. Is that true?
I think it's even better to say that they were some parts of the inspiration that for lyrics and things like that. And I think if you take a look at the songs on Control Issues, you'll actually find personalities in every single song. And you might even be able to find a personality or two that's in your family, just like ours, that matches up directly with the song.
Right. Any family members surprised once they heard some of the songs?
I don't think surprised. We have the introvert, that's easy enough.
Well, tell us about that song, because we opened up with that song, Introvert. What is that? You don't have to say who that's about, put them out there, but just explain
put 'em
that.
out there,
yeah,
please.
put them out there.
All right.
So Jim and I are married, and sometimes I write the lyrics for the songs. Most of the time, Jim pens the songs, but this one was a gift. This one was he is my introvert. Sometimes there's a bit of a social sacrifice made by myself, and in the end of the song, you find out that social sacrifice is absolutely worth it. And his mother loves it, and I think when you can get a mother-in-law to enjoy something you've created for her son, I think that's a win-win. That's all around.
It's kind of surprising. We were talking to some friends of ours before we came. You're like, they're going to ask us what 4 songs we should play. Which ones should we pick? And the first one that everybody said was Introvert, which I guess I have too close of a connection to it. Like sometimes you can't really evaluate what other people are going to think of your song. So I was kind of surprised.
All right, with this new album, because before it was the two of you, James and Kim, writing the songs there. How has it changed since the first album? As far as writing goes.
Oh, I think the drums are better.
Absolutely. There's no question they're better.
The writing process itself hasn't really changed that much. I still pretty much start all of the songs, and then I present them to the rest of the group, and they pick which ones we want to work on, and they really help bring them to life. I mean, I start the basis, but I really think it becomes all of our collective property once everybody has a chance to put their spin on it.
I think the difference was, at least my understanding is the difference was that now, Jim and Kim will bring the song to the band, and then myself and the bass player will kind of, put our spin on it. Without it, Jim, in fact, now has gotten to, he's very adept at recording and doing things in his house. So he's now gotten to the point where he'll lay things down on a recording, basis, and just do very basic drums and bass. And then when we get a hold of it, we put our own spin to it. And it might change the song a little bit. It might not, but, we go with it. And then it sort of morphs into something that's the entire band's.
How difficult was it to go through a band change, really, and members changing? Because you had 6, and now you're at 4, and you two obviously are the core of the band, and then you had the changes. Was that a difficult transition, or was it just something that, we've gone as far as we can with these people, we're going to, spread out a little bit and see who else is out there?
I don't think so much the transition was the hard part, but finding the right people where it kind of clicked and gelled. And I don't think we really started to. I think we really started to gel probably around over the last summer, August, September. That's when things really started to fall in place. We were a 5-piece up until about May.
Okay.
Our second guitarist left to pursue his own project. We're still really good friends with him. In fact, he did sound for us at our album release party.
Okay.
So it was a very amicable separation.
Mm-hmm.
And then things just fell into place that we found our way as a cohesive group. It's nice.
Are you going to stay with 4, or will you, if you find the right person, expand again, or?
Yeah, and then Jim can stop playing keyboards with his feet while he's playing guitar.
Yeah, Jim is like playing with every appendage, and he's not playing drums, but he plays with. Yeah, I don't know. I'd like it to stay 4, but I think we're kind of maybe gonna.
It would have to be
else.
the right person.
Yeah,
that's for sure. Because we definitely have a very good relationship with each other now.
Mm-hmm.
Band's kind of like a marriage, but with multiple people involved.
Sure. And then, of course, you're married to the lead singer, which probably complicates things a little bit more, or does it make it easier?
I'm easy.
We're both pretty easygoing, and I think respectful of each other's space. I mean, you can speak for. I don't think we've ever had an argument.
I will speak for that. I think they are. They're very easygoing, but I think the thing that happens when you're a married couple, and I don't know this for a fact because I only see them when we rehearse, but I would suspect it's very difficult for each one of them to criticize each other about things in the
Right.
Jim, I don't like the way you're playing that, or Kim, you don't sound good on that song.
That's actually gotten easier because the very first, like the first album. Kim would cut a vocal, and I'd be like, and she's like, "What? Is it not okay?" And like I didn't want to say, "Okay, well, you're flat," or
right.
Try doing it this way. And now we've gotten pretty much comfortable that I can say, "No, that's not working." You need to do something
Okay,
else.
well that's good. My wife and we've discussed it. We're both in the same industry, and we can't work together. Actually, no, I should correct that. She can't work with me.
No, I do admire. It is great that they can work together like that. It must be a lot of fun. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, I think seeing that, I think it takes a special people to be able to do that, because I know. I would not have a problem with my wife, but I think she would get sick of me very quickly. So let's move on. Let's move on to the second song. Yeah, that's true. Well, that's not a problem. Next song we got is "Better Than Me" off your new album called "Control Issues." Let's talk a little bit about "Better Than Me."
It sort of speaks for itself.
Okay.
In that, I think we've all had a moment when people look down upon us and they judge us. We've all had the moment where people feel like, well, I could do better than you.
Sure.
Be better than you, and we're a world of people who like to criticize and judge.
Okay.
And so that's how it starts. And then it turned into one of our school projects again. The last time we met. We talked about Zebras and how Zebras was a song that we created to address bullying and following peers as they make the wrong decisions about how to treat each other. And then this song was then dedicated to a similar cause for our schools.
Okay.
So Better Than Me has videos up on YouTube, and they were created by our students to kind of say, hey, look, You're not better than me.
There you go.
We're all on an equal level here, and they created the videos, filmed the videos, and then we put them on up, and so check them out, because I'm hoping that we can do it every year. Right now we have one in the making called Rumors that's getting ready for this school year.
Okay.
And so I hope it's a tradition that every year we can dedicate a new song to these kids so that they can learn something more about how to be the right kind of person and build the right kind of character.
All right. Well, let's get to Better Than Me. Then when we come back, we'll talk about that. And then also something else I saw on Reverb Nation I wanted to talk to you about. The band is called 3630. The song is called Better Than Me from their album Control Issues. It's brand new. It's just out. This is yourlocalnote.com.
See the way you look at me. I know what that look means. chasing the latest styles, up on all the hippest trends. I've fallen behind yet again. I've fallen behind yet again. So I guess that means we can't be friends. Can't be friends. You think you're better than me. It's obvious the whole world can see. You don't know what I've been through. I'd love to know what you do. What makes you think you're better than me? Better than me, better than me. So I've fallen behind. Who's keeping score? Failure dripping from every pore. They like you more. I'll never live up to what you want me to be, but it is me that you will never see, never see. You think you're better than me. It's obvious the whole world can see. You don't know what I've been through. I'd love to know what you do. What makes you think you're better than me? Better than me. Don't pretend that you know what I've been through. You don't even know what you do. You couldn't even fit in my shoes. Go ahead and walk in my shoes.
The song is called Better Than Me from the band 3630 and their new album Control Issues. Real quickly, I want to touch on the Fender Music project that you guys are part of. We saw it on Reverb Nation. That's where I picked up on that. So you guys, how did you come about with that, getting involved with Reverb Nation on that?
Well, as we talked last time, one of our main priorities in making music is having something to say and trying to make a difference. And both Kim and I being professional educators, children, kids are important to us.
Right.
So when I was on Reverb Nation, I saw the list of charities that they had available, and I saw the Fender one and how it helped with students and
instruments.
And basically giving students a chance to do something like what we do. And
Well,
it seemed like
yeah.
a perfect...
Yeah, unfortunately, in schools, when they're cuts, they cut the music program, then they
first
cut
thing to go.
sports and things like that, and that's and that's so short-sighted because that's a place where a lot of learning takes place, and it's unfortunate that seems to be the first thing going. And don't get me started on that. We'll get in trouble. But I think that's fantastic that you guys are part of that, and it's really cool what you do with your videos too. And you're saying that you're going to try to do another one, or are you working on that right now? You said, Kim, you were talking about Rumors.
The lyrics have been penned for Rumors.
Okay.
And we're now finding the right music to stick behind it.
And how do you get the kids involved? Do you just put out a message to them, or do you handpick them? How does that work?
Well, we have access to students during like a facilitated, like a certain team time where they all have this one period of a week, and they get together. And the other teachers that we teach with, they gladly let us use this time to introduce the tradition of creating the video. We share the lyrics. The kids hear the song, read the lyrics, and then they start to brainstorm ideas as to what they'd like the video to look like. We then look through their brainstorming and pick out some of the better ideas, and then gather up the kids who have the parent permission slips to go along with it. And we say, all right, these are the ideas. What do you want to do? And let's hit the ground running. And we always have it ready to go by the end of the year and put it up on the morning announcements. And
when they say kids, though, you're talking about it's two different classes they compete against each other. These two.
Well,
That
in
was
the
just
last
one year.
one.
That was the last.
Yeah.
Okay, that was the.
We might
yeah.
do it
They competed
again,
against
but-
each other.
Oh, so your Kim students were up against Jim
Gym
students.
students,
Yeah, for the-
exactly.
for the
Different
best
schools and
video.
different classes for the best video. Yeah, which was all like it was sort of they're both
Just
the
fun.
best video.
But that's horrible for
it's
better
all-
than me.
You're right.
Now I feel so shamed.
Exactly. Well, that's why I said it because it's kind of
Ironic.
ironic. Maybe you have a song called "Ironic" next time. Man.
You're not filming two different videos. It's all in whose concept is better.
Last year for Better Than Me, we actually filmed 2 separate videos,
Okay.
and we put both up on YouTube.
To see which ones would get the most hits. And I don't, it maybe the concept wasn't such a great idea after all, but the kids, hey, they had fun.
Sure.
But then they start making their comments about, my video is better than your video. And that's not exactly what we wanted. So then we had to censor the.
Yeah,
the
I got to
clips.
the point where I disabled the comments. They had to go through me before they could go up.
Right.
And we were,
So-
frankly, I was a little disappointed in that, which is probably why we won't try and do it that way again.
I vote that we just stick it up and no comments and no competition necessary.
Right, I agree.
So I think the days of the competition
Well, I
between
thought it
his
was-
school and my school.
I thought it was just interesting because the difference in the concepts were so different, but the same message. It was kind of neat. So,
What were
anyway.
the two concepts, if you don't mind sharing?
For Hollicong Middle School, where I teach, the kids chose a stereotype talent show, where the judges in the talent show were representing different stereotypes. And every time a certain band would come on and perform our song, depending on the stereotype, they would give it a high score if it was a stereotype that they would get along with, or
Right.
if it was like the nerd band, then they'd give it a low score. And at the very end, all the different stereotypes came together and performed the song. And they're the ones who won the talent show in the end of
Nice.
the video. So you really have to check it out to get the full effect, of course. So I recommend checking that out on YouTube. But and then Jim for Keith Valley Middle School.
It wasn't quite as linear. It was more various examples of bullying and how they take place to just try and bring attention to that, like as far as cyberbullying in the hallway, and just try to make it show how things kids realize they do, but not realize they're bullying.
Right. Okay. Well, and so you have those two. Zebras was the first, then Better Than Me, and now you're working on Rumors right now, getting that started in the works. I want to go back to the album now about the recording process that you guys did. Do you do it all yourself, Jim, in your house? Or
Yeah.
did you? Okay, so you didn't have to go in the studio and pay for time and do that whole thing. You were able to do it yourself.
Correct.
Okay, which you did on the first album as well.
Correct.
Okay, so what was the difference? What was easier? What was more difficult between the two albums, recording wise?
The more difficult part is getting everybody to agree.
Okay,
This time we had more people involved.
right.
So that's how we kind of came up with the title "Control Issues," just as kind of a joke.
Okay,
What's nice about it is anytime the inspiration strikes, having the studio in my house, I can work.
sure.
And I've gotten to know the equipment pretty well at this point, and we're pretty efficient how we can go through and track a song and pull it together.
Yeah, I think digital recording has redefined the ability to record. I mean, he's got a whole setup in a room with a computer and the board and everything, and it just makes it so easy. You can actually go into the music and pull one note out and change it if you have to or something. So it makes it really interesting to work with.
And it really made a big difference having a real drummer to play with, as opposed, because the first album I programmed all the drums. It was actually a drum machine. I programmed
Okay.
it.
Yeah, it makes a difference. A real person.
Yeah.
So
It does.
especially
It really does.
especially a competent good drummer.
Oh, well.
For example, there was one part of one of the songs on the album. It's not one we're going to play today, but there's a section I just could not get with the drum machine. So I was like, okay. I took it and I slid it all the way down to the end of the track. I sent this song out to everybody else. It was a little bridge section in the song, Something More. And when everybody got back together, had a chance to listen to it, we started working on it. Okay, I have this section. I couldn't make it work. I couldn't get the drums to transition correctly into it. Played it for Dave a couple times, and we came up with a solution, and it worked out really well.
And Something More is awesome. It has a kick and it wouldn't have that kick without Dave.
Yeah, without a real true.
It
Without
makes
Dave.
all the difference in the world.
Take the credit, man. That's awesome. It's really good stuff.
Now, in the first album, you had a very bass guitar was big in your first album. Did that stay with this album here?
I think so. It did. Yes. Our bass player is Jurgen. He actually wasn't able to come in today. He's the poor guy. He's down in Florida.
Basking in the sun. In Florida.
I was ready to say he had the flu or something.
No, it's worse than that. He's in Florida.
And to be honest, that was actually we were actually talking about this the other day. That was kind of the hardest part for me too. Was you kind of get attached to when you write the songs, and so maybe when I learned to not to, but then a bass line would come out different than how I originally wrote it.
Yeah.
But then you're able to separate and go, okay, take my ego out of it and just listen to it and go, that's really good bass line.
Yeah.
And it really adds a lot of dimension to the song. And I think it helps the songs to have more people have input into them, maybe make them more accessible to everybody else to listen to.
Sure. All right, let's go to the third song, Shades of Grey. What can you tell us about that? You're already laughing.
Did
I say it correctly?
Well, yeah, absolutely.
I'm even choking over here. Oh my gosh.
I'm going to let Kim's got to go explain that one.
Well, as you know,
there's a
the
book.
heart. I wasn't even going to go there. I swear. The hardest part is to get people to hear your music. I mean, short of brainwashing the kids that we teach, how are we? I mean, thanks to you guys. Oh man, it's really hard to get people to listen to your music, right? So why not throw on a name that's similar to another name, and make a video for it, throw it on YouTube, see how many hits it just might get.
Yeah, but it's more than that though, because
really
the
is so
song
much more
is
than that.
similar, has some themes that are similar to the book that we won't mention,
Well-
but you know what we're talking about.
Well, we did read the book, but
The idea behind was getting like the protagonist in the book, getting yourself in a situation where part of you saying, I really shouldn't be here doing this. I should just walk away now. And that's
Run.
kind of what the song is about.
But I kind of like it, so I'm going to stay. Yeah.
oh, shame on you. You didn't even read the book.
I know I didn't.
But now you want to.
But, yeah, right.
Exactly.
My entire college career.
Oh my goodness.
We want it to be. We want someone to pick up on it and make it on the soundtrack when they make the movie from it.
There you go.
Rolling in the credits.
Yes.
I'd rather not be in
Rolling in the credits.
The
There you
movie.
go.
I mean, I am a little embarrassed about this, to be
The song
honest.
does have a flavor that could work in that type of scenario. You'll see when you hear it. You'll.
All right, well, let's listen to it right now. We're talking with 3630 back again for the second time. And their album is called Control Issues. It's brand new, and you're listening to yourlocalnote.com.
If you were me, maybe you would understand. Always on the outside looking in. If I were you, maybe I would take your hand. Whoa, walking a line between lover and friend. Why do you stay when you should run? 50 shades of gray. Sometimes black, sometimes white. 50 shades of gray. Tell me the difference between need and want. Always looking for some emotion, but needing more proof. Oh, walking away from what I believe. Why do you stay when you should run? 50 shades of gray. Sometimes black, sometimes white. 50 shades of gray. Changing my mind to see every side. 50 shades of gray. Sometimes black, sometimes white. 50 shades of gray.
The song is called Shades of Grey, and they are 3630. This is yourlocalnote.com. You've been mentioning, we've been talking about your music videos, and they're up on YouTube. What are some other websites where we can find your music, we can see these videos?
You could go to our website, www.30-630.com. We're on Reverb Nation. We're on iTunes. We just created a Tumblr account. We're on Facebook. Basically, I'm trying to cover all of the
Yeah.
social media network outlets that I can think
It's
of.
tough.
It is. It's hard to keep up.
Yeah.
LinkedIn.
Our first video for Grumpy Old Man is located on YouTube as well.
It's everywhere.
And
that one's on every social media site, actually.
There you go. Grumpy Old Man.
Proliferation of that song is complete.
No, not really complete, but it would be nice if it could be.
And you're working on the video for Shades of Grey, which should be out soon.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
A
And
PG.
a PG version. Okay. And we will be posting that on our site as soon as it's out there.
Thank you.
We'll put that up, along with any upcoming shows that you do have, which we're looking at more the spring, correct?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll once you tell us when you're playing, and we'll have it up on the site, and also link back to your website.
Thank you.
Now, the videos, we talked extensively about how you work with the kids. Now, Shades of Grey is going to be something you put together, right?
Oh, mercy. I'd prefer they don't know about that one, but
Well, they may not even pick up on
they're
it.
obviously not going to be involved in the making of the Shades of Grey, and it is PG. Actually, it's even G right now.
It is.
That might turn people away. Maybe I should say it's not PG. But
You got to walk
Yeah,
that
I don't
line.
even-
You have a fine
Yeah,
line to
right?
walk because you work with children.
and we would prefer a video that doesn't get us fired.
Right. The goal, the end goal, basically, is to not do anything that gets us fired.
Okay, right. Keep your job as a teacher. Yeah, I don't even know what the content of this video is. Other than I know I was involved in a couple video or the CD release party we videoed, so part of that is in there.
Very
There's
good.
a couple other things in there. I don't know what these two are up to with that,
Okay.
actually. But
Get them hooked.
Yeah.
Get them hooked.
We talked a little bit earlier about the change of the band. How's that changed the shows, your live shows? How's that changed?
There's more room on stage.
a lot, though.
I think our playing is significantly better,
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
I think since we've gone down to 4 and the core that we have now, we're a lot tighter.
Uh-huh.
That's
We're
easier.
able to, yeah. But even still, I mean, sometimes it's difficult for me. I'm playing guitar with my hands, and I actually have a little keyboard I play with my feet.
Okay.
I trigger samples and sing backup, and everybody sings now. But
So you're on stage barefoot, or are you doing that now? Okay.
no.
He's thought
He
about
wanted
I
it.
to
thought
be.
about it, but I'm not sure if you've looked at a lot of the stages of the venues in this area.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Yes. Okay. Now that you
And that's
mention
not
that.
an insult in any of the venues, but I mean, there's
when your foot sticks to the ground a little bit, you definitely don't want to go barefoot. Which happened one gig we had.
it did.
It's a bar. What can you do?
Exactly. You got it.
Exactly.
All right. So you feel the smaller band has forced you to be a tighter band.
Tighter, I would say more raw. It's
Okay.
like a more rock
All right.
feel than, I don't know, before it was rock too, but
Right.
it's a little more edgy now. I
And
think.
there's nothing to hide behind.
Right.
Because with there's only 3 instrumentalists, if somebody messes up,
It
Yeah,
stands out
it's-
there.
It's very
painfully
easy to
obvious.
hide behind with a big layer of keyboards
Right.
and the sound behind it,
Sure.
You can hide behind that, and we definitely do not have that now, which I think is a good thing. I like that.
Okay.
I like being raw.
Okay, very cool. All right, let's go to the last song because you'll let us know when you've got shows coming up in the spring. We'll get them on our site. But let's go to the last song. Could Be Worse. What is that about?
This one's deep.
Yeah, and,
Yeah.
and bitter.
Bitter, yeah.
There is a lot of anger in some of your songs.
Really? Did you notice that?
Yeah,
Because I
I mean,
noticed it when I
is it-
joined the band. There was something a little...
Is that now?
honestly,
Is that from teaching? Because my sister's a teacher,
No.
and sometimes I'm like, I don't even want to bring up how your job is doing. So, I mean, is that just this is an outlet for you after a tough day? I mean, teaching kids is not easy. I'm not putting you down. I'm saying it's not easy dealing with kids.
Although
So-
sometimes that's true, this song actually had absolutely nothing to do with any of the kids we teach, and
Okay.
it is probably the angriest song I've ever written, to be honest with you.
So, Jim, you wrote the words?
I did.
Okay.
I think just before you explain it, I think a lot to address what you said about the collective.
Right.
Most of the songs are written by Jim, and he tends to. I think I've learned that Jim really does write from himself.
Well, he's the introvert, so
What
maybe
he-
he's just bottling
Yeah.
all this up.
That's
Well,
exactly
really,
right.
he definitely writes what he's thinking at any given moment. That's
Okay.
when
Holding
he
in
gets
at any given
holding in,
moment.
right? So yeah, there's an element. I guess it's more of a. I shouldn't say negative, but it's more of a.
There's an edge.
Looking at the things that are edgier and
Okay.
not as squeaky clean in our society.
Well, okay.
I really
cool.
intended it to be a call to arms to do something
Yeah,
about it.
right.
More of a warning. Say,
Yeah.
hey, letting people know. A little Paul Revere.
Yeah, but anyway, could be worse. It's,
And not only is it the angriest song I've ever written, it's probably the most personal. And actually, when we play it, I find myself, I can't think about what the words are. Like, I just get lost in what I'm playing because if I concentrate on the words, like, it's
gonna
very
distract
difficult
you?
for me.
It's a very emotional song.
Oh, okay.
And you can actually hear it in the lyrics. You can hear it in how I sing it too. Mm-hmm. That there's a little bit of a loss of control in singing "Could Be Worse" because of the emotion.
And that actually led to a discussion because we put out the songs and we don't always explain what they're about to the rest
Sure.
of the band.
Sure.
And so we were discussing Could Be Worse in the state it was in the album, and Dave and Jurgen had some concerns about some of the vocal parts and some I'm trying to remember how you phrased it. You said it was like confusing
and chaotic.
chaotic, and I said that's exactly what. So you got what I wanted you to get out of this song. It's
Confusion and
intentionally
chaos.
confusing and chaos.
How difficult is that to sing, Kim?
Oh, it was easy actually,
Well-
because it's a piece of our lives that we
Okay.
share. So they were his lyrics, but it was our life. And
Okay.
what happened 2 years ago? We found out that our 7-year-old he started.
He's nine now.
He's 9 now. He started to have seizures.
Oh.
And so we took him in for an MRI to find out, okay, well, why is he having seizures? And they found out that he was missing a piece of his brain.
Oh.
A birth defect. Random. Congratulations, you hit the lottery, 1 in a million kind of a birth defect. And
So actually, the two hemispheres of his brain aren't connected.
Okay.
not at all. Nothing's there. And he comes across as very normal, and we're blessed. We know we're blessed.
So you, in talking with him,
you wouldn't know.
You would
know.
never know. I
Okay.
never. Yeah, he's a cool kid. I like him.
So our little guy, I remember clearly getting the phone call from the neurologist saying, well, now, hey, we know why he's having the seizures, and aren't you glad you know why? And I'm crying my eyes out. She's like, why are you upset? You now know what's been
Right.
causing the issues. And I'm like, and you don't get it. This is irreparable.
Right.
You know,
And it was part of the progression because first we were told he was autistic.
Oh.
Then he was told he was ADD. So we went to get medicine. He started a prescription for it, and then he started freaking out.
it got
we found
worse.
out, and see, that's what I mean because he kept getting. And we found out
Okay.
the freaking out was actually him having seizures.
Oh.
And so a standard procedure for seizures is they do an MRI after they found he had epilepsy, and then they found that the two hemispheres of his brain weren't connected. And
Yeah.
everybody's like, it's awkward. One of the lines says, "People mean well when they wish for the best," because everybody was telling us
Right,
that kind of
yes.
thing. And
Hence the could be worse. Like
Right.
it
Yes.
keeps getting worse.
You always hear that.
Yeah, and now when you listen to the song, really for me, this was just revealed to me recently, and I had played the song with them before.
Right.
So it put the song in a whole different perspective. Now when I hear it, it really brings the song together. So
the
I think
chorus
now
really
listeners,
says, don't say it could be worse.
yeah,
Because every time you do it, actually gets worse.
right.
Okay. That could be difficult at times. I would imagine, especially if during the album release party, you got all your family and friends around.
And,
that
and
had to be-
our little dude was there.
And he was.
He was.
We actually
He
didn't
was.
share that story that night.
We didn't.
Right.
But he was helping sell our CDs and our T-shirts, little bugger.
So is it under control now? Does he take medicine to
Oh, that's
help?
very,
Yes.
very thoughtful of you to ask. Of course, it's not something that it won't get better.
Right. But
He is maintained. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and he
Well,
is a
that's good.
happy guy, and you just hope that he'll stay that way.
Now we brought everybody down.
Yeah.
No,
Right.
no.
But
okay.
get in touch with us if you have a similar situation, because this really is a rare condition, and we have a hard time connecting with other parents because
Right.
of it. So hey, maybe we can meet some other parents under similar
Well,
situations.
lest anyone think that songs are written in a haphazard manner.
Right.
Yeah.
No,
Some of them actually have a deep meaning. to
they're
them.
very deep meaning.
Yeah.
Well, it's sort of what's the word I'm looking for? I mean, it's a release for you
It's
guys.
It's therapy, definitely, especially for Jim, because he
Okay.
does hold things in.
Okay, very good. All right, the song is "Could Be Worse." We're going to wrap things up, guys. Thank you so much for coming out again. Really appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
It's great to see you guys again, and we are looking forward to playing some more music and seeing you guys out. Again, you'll let us know in the spring when you're going to be hitting the stage, and you'll let us know when your video for Rumors is done too.
That sounds great.
Okay, great. Thank you. The band is called 3630. Their new album is Control Issues. Just want to remind you, we're going to have a brand new podcast next week, so check it out. And as always, you can get in touch with us. You can email us at contact@yourlocalnote.com. And then also don't forget about our apps. They're free. Just type in YLN and you can download them for free, and you can get onto our streaming and onto the website and check out what's going on. All right, we're wrapping up. The new album from 3630 is Control Issues, and this is called Could Be Worse on yourlocalnote.com.
I felt on top of the world. I had it all. Never looking back. No doubts, no fears. My supports were kicked out one by one, thrashing in the water in free fall, waking to scream.